Let's suppose that one of the world leaders, like Joe Biden or Vladimir Putin or Xi Jinping, has a brain tumour, of which they are completely unaware. Now let's suppose that this tumour is located in the prefrontal cortex, which is the part of our brain in charge of our decision-making. Such a tumour could theoretically grow slowly, changing the personality of the politician in charge, putting them in situations they would otherwise avoid at all costs, like, for example, pushing a certain button that is not supposed to be pushed. Now, if this situation were true, or became true somewhere in our future, I don't think that the person in charge would want that. They would, of course, want to be sure that they are in perfect health and that their judgment isn't clouded, at least for the sake of their personal well-being. If there were a tumour in their brain, they would want it removed immediately. Now let's pause for a second and analyse the situation at the moment. I'm sure that the health of the world's leaders is in the hands of the best doctors available, who are following the latest guidelines to a T. But exactly here lies the problem. The guidelines are created for our society based on one hand on the latest science and on the other on available resources. There are no guidelines for the few people that are accountable for everyone on Earth and our civilization as we know it. For example, no doctor in their right mind would suggest that every one of us have an MRI of our brain every 3 months in order to scan for brain tumours. This would, of course, cause such a financial burden that the health system would crash and more people would die of other diseases than would be saved from brain tumours. But then again, most people who are at risk of developing brain tumours don't carry a briefcase which could end our civilization with one push of a button. So at least in my opinion, paying for some additional brain MRIs for the people carrying these briefcases could save us some trouble. So I think it is time to start talking about guidelines that determine that we are using all the latest science-based methods in order to make sure our present and future leaders are in top physical and mental health. Yes, it does not sound fair for everyone, but until we can afford to provide the best medicine for all, we need to make sure that the people in charge of our progress are functioning to the maximum of their abilities. An interesting fact is that after Vladimir Lenin died, there was a whole dedicated institute in charge of preserving his dead body in the mausoleum. Why aren't there such institutes in charge of preserving the living bodies, and especially the brains, of the people in charge of our future? A good example is psychiatrists. In some countries, practicing psychiatrists undergo regular psychotherapy sessions themselves in order to make sure that they are in top mental health, so that they would be able to help others. We are, unfortunately, not capable of providing this option for everyone. But why isn't this a standard procedure for our politicians? When we start looking, there are a lot of things that could be included in the guidelines for the physical and mental health of leading politicians. The latest science shows that bad sleep has a devastating effect on decision-making, and sometimes, as in the case of sleep apnea, the sufferer isn't even aware of the problem. Are we sure that the person in charge of the nuclear weapons is getting enough sleep on a regular basis? Isn't it a good idea to make sure that this is in fact the case, instead of leaving it to chance? Further exploration of the latest scientific discoveries, for example, shows that the gut biome may be playing a role in our mental health. Getting enough and the right type of exercise is also crucial to staying fit mentally. Why isn't there an institute that gathers all those evidence-based discoveries, combines them into a strategy and makes sure that our leaders are in fact in top mental condition? If we are sure that the people in charge of the red button are getting enough sleep and don't have any brain tumours, for example, that would also make our own sleep a lot better. Don't you think so? Otherwise, at least in my opinion, it's only a matter of time before something goes wrong. If you agree with us and want us to be able to spread our message further, you can support our channel by liking and sharing this video. Tell us what you think in the comments below and subscribe for more future thoughts.